Welcome everyone to today's session. Today will be just recapping. Last time we talked about agents and how agents can help you uh, co-pilot your marketing activities, how it can help you enhance a lot of redundant activities that you might be doing right now. Today, we are going to be talking more around Scout. So, Scout is your interactive AI within Factors that is going to help you answer questions. For example, why did my revenue pipeline drop last month? Where are all these new leads coming from? I have no idea which of my campaigns are working out. So these are activities that used to take a lot of time before because you have to create a report either using Power BI, or if your data is not that huge, you have to go in manually, go into Google Analytics, you go into Clarity, you go into all of these sources, stitch all that data together, and then you come to a conclusion. And maybe by then the campaign has shifted or is not performing anymore. So what Scout is going to do is within minutes, it's going to stitch all that data from different data sources, and it's going to look in on your website. It's going to look at your CRM. It's going to look at all your activities, both marketing and sales, and it's going to tell you why all of these things are happening. So today's session is going to be led by Ajay. Ajay is the person who is responsible for all the answers that we're getting from Scout right now. Before we get into the webinar, I want to just go through our usual housekeeping stuff. So this session is recorded. So if you need to step out in between, that is totally okay. I'll be sending you a recording right after this session is over, which should be within the next 45 minutes. And then there's a Q&A section. So if you can go to your bottom right or maybe left based on which Zoom update you have right now. If you click on Q&A, you will be able to ask questions. Now, Ajay will be picking that up live, or even some of the questions I'll be answering within the chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to put that whenever you feel like asking them. And finally, I'll also be sending out the slides that Ajay has prepared. So let's get right into it then. Ajay, would you like to take it from me?
Awesome. Thank you, Amit. Hey, everyone. Really excited to be here. We've been working on a bunch of features with Scout over the past few weeks and months. And as Amit mentioned, right, you probably have already seen how agents work. Agent is something, as we know, is a modality of AI where it works in the background, and Scout is a different modality where you have a surface area to chat around with it, and you can do things with it. Okay, so without further ado, let me share my screen. Yeah, so this is Scout, just to give you a glimpse before like showing more of the features. So Scout has this chat interface where you can ask a lot of things about your marketing use cases because we already have all the data sources connected. It can answer and reason along with those data points as well. So let me now switch to my deck. Am I sharing my deck right now, Amit, or I'm still in Scout?
Nope, you're sharing your deck.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Cool. So to sum it up on what Scout does, we can say that it can answer questions and it can also perform actions. And both are based on, as I mentioned, the data sources that you've already connected, which is the CRMs, the ad sources, the website integrations, and all those things. And if you were to split that into a few different groups, then you have these things. So Scout can tell you what happened, and what happened is this abstraction around your attribution questions, or maybe you want to know why your campaign has the campaign performance has dropped slightly. Is there an ad fatigue going on? All these things are around what happened, this abstraction. And the second bucket is around accounts that match a certain condition. So this will be around give me all the accounts in my ICP, which we have a sales engagement with, and which we don't uh, have an opportunity created in your CRM. So that would be one example I can give you around accounts that match. And I feel like a lot of use cases that you have in your marketing day-to-day use cases is around finding those accounts, be it your ICP accounts, be it your warm accounts, cold account, all those things. So finding the accounts that match these conditions is the second use case that Scout can help you with. And finally, all these things are will come together where you can do something around those accounts or those campaigns that are relevant to you. So these are the three things that are bucketed. This is not actually the way in which we build the product, but uh, for the ease of this webinar, I'm like grouped all the features that we have into these three buckets. So yeah, so that's how we'll be going around with this webinar. And also, I'll be using a lot of product dashboards that we created in Scout across this demo. And one call out here is I've masked all the data. All the data is accurate, but the names of customers that you see, some of the campaign names you see would be masked with AI or something else. Yeah, so that is a call out. Now let's go into one use case. And this is a question, I think, mother of all marketing questions. What is marketing influence right now in the pipeline side? So there are like attribution is a very complex field altogether, and you have a lot of ways to see how attribution works. And in factors and in Scout, the sort of attribution that we're really good at is influence attribution, not the first touch last sort of thing, but to understand like how each touch point has helped in the overall marketing journey. So I have a dashboard created already for this. Let me quickly open it. Okay, I have the top campaigns, keyword performance, paid search campaigns, LinkedIn campaigns, and all. I'll just start from the very end first. So this will show me all the campaigns that I have right now in our marketing side at Factors, which are generating the most pipeline, and it will also show me the accounts reached. So this is an information that we are getting from LinkedIn, and also we are patching it with the accounts that are close in the CRM to get this pipeline influence, or the accounts that are in the pipeline to get the pipeline influence data. And this is one information which is like previously you had to use an Excel sheet and like spend a lot of time to get it, but you already have it. You just have to ask for this particular data. And you also know which campaign is performing well. Similarly, paid search also, you can do the same thing. You know the paid search campaigns which are having where is the spend going, how much is the account reach, how much is the pipeline influence. This information is also something that you can get. And you have the campaign name also. Now, for a paid search, we know that keyword is the building block of a paid search. So also you can also have a grouping based on keyword and across campaigns to understand which campaigns are also performing well, which will give you these things. For factors, these are the keywords that are working well. It will also show me the campaign, ad group, the pipeline, and all this information. Again, very important information, uh, very information that you run your marketing based on very fast and quick on Scout. You can just ask it and get it. And again, all these things are put together to get me the top performing campaigns and based on pipeline influence in a one single page. So this is the to answer the first question, the most important question. You have now a base around how much you're spending, how much pipeline you're generating, and you have a view around what is actually working in terms of keyword and in terms of different LinkedIn campaigns. Now, this answers our first question. I can go into the next question and show what happens there. But any questions? Maybe too early to ask, but if there are any questions, do let me know.
No, I don't see any questions at this point. Folks, feel free to use the Q&A button to ask any questions. Thanks,
Cool.
sir.
Cool. Now going into the next one. So now we know influence, but what it's just one touch point, right? But we do want to know a combination of touch points sometimes. Let's say you had a, thought leadership ad in LinkedIn a while back, and then the people who saw it did not engage with it, didn't really do anything, or maybe you saw a billboard, a person saw a billboard of your company, but there's no way you can touch the billboard, right? But they search for it in Google, maybe through they see a paid search recommendation, all those things. But now we want to understand how much lift there has been. So this is also very dependent on the time duration that you take. Maybe on a particular duration, if you didn't have much of LinkedIn campaigns, then there will not be much lift. But if you had a thought leadership or a campaign in LinkedIn and you want to see if paid search, if that had a lift on paid search, that is something that you can check. So I've taken an example here where the lift is not there much, but if you see this dashboard here, you can see that session to form submission, you have a conversion rate of 5.4, and you have a LinkedIn to session to form submission where you have a 3.7 conversion rate. So I've taken a duration, a very small duration. If I expand on this pool, I would probably be seeing a lot more of this conversion. But that is also something that you can just ask out on any duration that you want, and you can get the required time range. And same goes for multi-channel path also. You have a paid search to form submission, you have LinkedIn paid search and form submission, the thought leadership example that I just gave. So this also will let you understand like how are different touch points, whether it be multi-channel or otherwise, working together rather than in isolation, which will allow you to draft better plans for your future campaign and marketing use cases. So this is the second question that we are answering through Scout. And yeah, I will move on to the next one. Cool. Uh, Now you know that how different touch points are working, right? You know that the certain keywords are working, certain LinkedIn campaigns are working, certain combinations of LinkedIn and paid search are sometimes working in a specific duration. And maybe when you don't have uh, certain types of LinkedIn campaigns, you probably won't be having that left. But the next information that you would like to understand is which are these accounts that we are actually reaching, right? You probably want to go into your LinkedIn campaign manager and other data sources to probably understand it. In Scout, you can just ask. So I've created a dashboard here where you can see the accounts that you're actually reaching. Excuse me. So you have total accounts reached in a particular time duration. I've taken, I think, the past 90 days, if I'm not wrong. And you can see the total accounts reach and all the accounts which has had greater than 50 impressions, which is effective reach, where we have taken a cutoff of 50 to say that okay, they have really seen the ads, right? And then you have a effective reach of total 13.3%. And out of this, we already have engagement scoring in Factors, which takes into consideration multiple other signals. Based on a recency basis, we can say whether they are warm, hot, cold, and everything. And now we have all the accounts which we have shown LinkedIn ads in the recent past. And we know that out of this, now these many accounts are warm today. So this information also is again taking in a combination of different data points. You need your LinkedIn, you need your website information. Now, again in Scout, you can ask Scout to get this information, right? And the previous caveat I mentioned, all these accounts are just AI generated names, but the data is very real. The impressions are real, and there is an underlying real account that we are targeting from a marketing side. Uh, Here, right? So this again is an interesting use case where you can understand like where the LinkedIn campaigns are reaching. Cool.
Ajay, we have a question.
Yeah.
How is engagement scoring defined?
Got it. Good question. So engagement scoring is a deterministic rule that we have in Factors, which means you can define what are the signals that are contributing to your engagement. So let's say you only want people who are visiting your pricing page at a frequency, let's say like 5 times in a week, probably, and you only want those accounts which have clicked on your LinkedIn ads. You only want accounts which are probably engage from some other sort of webinar or maybe an event in your CRM. Because we have all these data sources, we can set a filter in Factors and say that, okay, give 10 points each to these events for the website visit, for the pricing page visit, for the ads, and probably the offline events if you're tracking it in a CRM. And that would contribute to a score. And the account with the most score will be the top account. And we bucket that into hot, cold, warm, hot, warm, cold, and ice. Ice being the lowest and hot being the largest. So that is the way in which you can set up engagement signals and scoring in Factors. And this will be used across Scout to define the priority of accounts that you should be reaching out to. Does that answer the question?
That answers the questions. Thank you, Ajay. We have one more question. So I think we were going to get to this in a later part, but are these reports scheduled? Can I get this in Slack?
Yeah, good question again. Yeah, we'll get to that in the later part of this one.
But you can give them a glimpse of what we're going to talk about.
We will. Yeah, the short answer is yes.
Okay.
The
Thanks.
long answer will be at the end. So stay tuned for it.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, account reach is here. Now, whenever we say about accounts reached, right, the most important and the pertinent question is, are we actually reaching the accounts that we should be reaching, right? Now, this includes probably one example I've taken here is we have an set of accounts in the SQL and open opportunity state in the CRM, but they've not really seen any ads of late. And how this is important is I want to accelerate the sales process, and I also want to have a air gap my sales team and show these prospects more ads, right? Now, this is something that again, like if you put the mental model of the data sources that are required, requires a bit of CRM, your ad data and everything, but again, Factors is able to stitch all these things together, and through Scout we are able to ask that question. Give it a second. Cool. So now we know that there are like these many accounts, total under 50 with less than 50 LinkedIn impression in the open opportunity state, and we know that 96 did not have any impression at all. And there are 38 with the 1 to 10 impression, and there are some accounts in the 11 to 49 impression range. This is not bad, but these are just concerning numbers. If you add these two things up, this is more or less say that more accounts are less influence than like more influence in that particular segment, right? So you will be able to get this set of accounts which are not engaged in that opportunity stage, and you'll also get a distribution around where these accounts are. Keep this in mind for now. We will have something to do around these accounts at a later part of the demo, but this is the real problem, right? And there are other cases also where you would want to understand whether we are actually serving ads, LinkedIn ads primarily, probably paid ads also to a particular set of accounts. So that is where we can do a segment analysis. So segment analysis is in Factors. What we have is something called a segment, which is a generic concept across B2B marketing tools, but it's a set of accounts which are matching certain criteria, certain conditions, right? Now, I want to see if open opportunities is a sort of segment, but I want to open it across to a different set of segment. Maybe let's say I want to see if my ICP accounts have been engaged enough. I want to see if my closed lost deals, which have shown engagement in the recent past, whether they've been engaged through LinkedIn. So this is also something that you can get in Scout. If I click on this dashboard, I can get this information here, right? Now, I have a campaign level reach. It is showing me all the, okay. It is showing me all the different campaigns and how many accounts it has reached. Uh, Mostly one certain campaigns, but let's just check the unreached accounts. So within my ICP segment, this is a segment which is ICP segment engaged by sales, which I've taken. So in this particular segment, at least, I see a lot of accounts which are unreached. Comparing to the reached accounts. So more accounts are unreached than reached in this particular priority segment that I've selected. Now, this is a problem. You probably want to show them more ads. Again, at the later part of the demo, I'll be showing how you can do that. But yeah, this is a good enough data point for you. I can think of a lot of use cases where you create segments around different conditions, and then see like if they are seeing the ads in the first place, whether the reach is there, right? Yeah. So this is this use case. Any questions, folks, now on this side, or I'll move to the next one.
Not at this point, I say. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Now, so as we go along this area, right, what we're trying to understand, as I mentioned previously, is we want to know what happened, right, on the initial attribution side. So that question is primarily along the attribution, or like to understand certain anomalies in your marketing data points. Now, in this account that match condition, you also want to understand accounts with buying intent. This might be uh, with multiple different conditions. So I can say that maybe all the accounts that have visited my pricing page in the past couple of days, or maybe because we have other third-party signals and external signals like G2, Bambora, where you can want to see all the accounts which has probably visited your competitor page. You can get that from G2, or probably accounts that are researching something in the internet. So these are accounts where there is some intent, and you already know these are the sort of intent that you have to target, right? Now, this also is something that you can just ask in Scout, where you can ask, like, for instance, the pricing page question. I want to see all the accounts which are visiting my pricing page in the past 7 days, probably. So Scout will be able to give this question as answer as well. And not only that, it will also be able to give you the contacts where you should be reaching out to. As you can pass this on to your sales team, and you can help your SDR team also on this. And it will give me these details. Again, this is from coming from different data sources. If you we integrate with a lot of other website and open web data integrators, where you can actually get this information from the internet as well, right? From multiple sources. So this is one other question that you can ask on Scout, with which you can help your sales team, right? Now, going back, so buying intent is also covered. Now, when you ask these questions, probably the first thing that you have to check is, are these accounts in the CRM in the first place, right? So that is when you can just ask, like, Scout, are these accounts in the CRM? And it will be able to tell you whether these accounts are in the CRM. It will be able to give you a list of accounts which are in the CRM. This I have taken website visitors in the last 30 days and not in my CRM as a filter here, and it is able to give me the overview, also the top accounts which are having some engagement. It is showing me the engagement score. It is showing me the sessions, pages, and if I'm not in the CRM, probably I have to take this out and push into my Salesforce account, right? Yeah, so this is one other use case in Scout. You are checking across your website, your ad platforms, your other platforms, and your CRM to check if they are in fact on your CRM. So this is where we get to keywords. Now, we've spoken about campaigns and accounts, right? But we also have keywords as a building blocks to your Google paid ads campaign, right? So you can check if and how your keywords are performing through Scout. You can ask which keywords are performing well, which are not really performing well, and on a campaign level, it will be able to understand if these things are working well or not. And since we have attribution of a campaign onto pipeline, we'll be able to give you a pipeline number as well for keywords, right? And you will be able to get high performing keywords. You'll be able to get high spend, low conversion keywords. You'll also get high impression, no conversion keywords, and all these things you will be able to get because we have all the data, a 360-degree data of your ad platform and your CRM site, right? Not only that, I can go a little deeper into account-based marketing, this one at least, right? So we are able to give a diagnosis on why this is a high performing keyword based on the campaigns that you have set up, and it's also give me a deeper insights around, like, why this is working in the first place, right? So this on keywords. Pause for one more minute. Any questions here?
Nope, none at the moment. Thank you.
Cool. Okay, now we have a lot of information, right? And what is information worth if you're not able to do some actions on top of it, right? So we mentioned about keywords. We mentioned about, I actually did not mention about bits, but these are things that you can actually do in using your Scout and Google Ads integration. If your Google Ads integration is Google Ads account is integrated onto Scout, you can actually push the keywords that you find to be working onto your campaigns. You can add negative keywords, and you can also update your bits. Now, this is the conversation I've already created. Now, based on the previous dashboard I've created, I've asked, can you recommend what are all the things that I should change? So it has given me opportunities of keywords to add to different campaigns. It has given me the rationale around it. It has given me a bit strategy recommendations around these keywords. It has given me negative keywords to add. Uh, some of these estimates we'll have to cross check if those are actually going to be worth it. But these are recommendation based on the data that we already have from the factors marketing stack, right? And it will excuse me, it will give me questions around what all should I execute if I have to execute all of the above. So if I went through this and if I'm confident about the recommendation, I can actually say all of the above and it should execute it. I will not press enter for now. I have to check with my performance marketer to see actually make this work. But yeah, if you're sure about the recommendation, you can click on all of the above. But essentially, none of these data points are taken from a place where it is not making sense. It's all from your own data points. So if a particular keyword is not working well for a long period of time, it will recommend why do you want to have this keyword in the first place? Why don't you remove it? And if a certain keyword patterns are seen as working, it will give you those keywords or maybe keywords associated to that that you want to add. And also bids, similarly, it will give you recommendations around uh, campaign bids and strategy recommend changes that you have to do. And if you feel they are good, you can ask for the change in here, right? So this is one set of actions that you can perform on Google. Uh, yeah, again, this is all human in the loop. If I ask all of the above, it will still ask me, do you want to do it? And I have to click on yes to confirm. So all right actions have a verification system, so it will not accidentally will make the change. But if I ask, it will definitely make the change. So I'm not asking here now. Uh, cool. So that is on this action here.
Ajay, we have a question.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, so it just says, is this available on LinkedIn? I'm going to assume that it's more around LinkedIn ad management. So yeah, that's the question. Can we do everything that you mentioned with Google with LinkedIn as
I will move on to the next slide. I have something on LinkedIn as well. Cool. So you remember that I mentioned like certain segments that we have, like we create and we know that they are not being served, right? Now, the immediate next action you probably want to do is you want to push it to a campaign onto a LinkedIn audience, right? This is something that is currently available at Scout. So if I go on to Scout, I've actually created, you remember the accounts which were open and did not see a campaign for the past couple of days. So that those accounts are here. Actually, I'll scroll down. So now I have a full list of those accounts here where there are less impression than what it should be. Now, what I could do is I could just ask to make this change. Right now, I did not even know which campaign, which audience to push it to. So I just asked, can you just give me a group of campaigns where I should be pushing these accounts to? So what Scout has done is they've taken the journey of all these different accounts and figured out which part of the marketing journey they are in, and it has given me a few options on like where I should fit it for. And if I feel this is accurate, or if I don't feel it is accurate, there's a different audience on a different campaign that I have to push towards. I can also mention that, and it will be able to push this particular audience onto LinkedIn. That is completely possible through Factors right now. Again, I'm not doing it right now just because this is real data and a real marketing stack, which I'm sure. So this is one part of LinkedIn. I have one final slide remaining on the LinkedIn actions part, but before that, I'll take a pause. Any questions here?
well? No, we're good for now, Ajay. Thank you.
Cool. Great. I can see a lot of use cases here, folks. Like I mentioned the ICP account use cases, a close lost showing engagement. I get that information from Factors through Scout directly. Then I push it to a new campaign that I created in LinkedIn to say that, okay, we have to reach out to these people in a particular fashion, right? I can reach out to people who are looking onto my competitor pages on G2, and I create a segment and I just push it onto LinkedIn, and I have a specific personalized ad to those set of accounts, right? So there are a lot of use cases that are opening up when you have this integration. And one of the I've set up campaigns with my performance marketer, and I feel like the hardest part to do is actually more than the creatives and everything is to like create the campaigns and set up the lists and set up the targeting criteria. All those things are the hardest part. And Scout is not only able to get you the list of accounts that you have to do, it is able to push that to LinkedIn, which is I feel a great value add and also cuts a lot of time. And you can spend more time around asking Scout what are the actual accounts that you should be targeting rather than setting up it in the first place, right? Because anyway, the your marketing dollars are going to be prioritized into certain campaigns initially. So you can ask, okay, I have this set of segments, I have this set of segments. Can you tell me which segment I should be investing in the first place, right? So those sort of higher order, like higher leverage activities is what you could spend your time on, and your ROI will accordingly increase, right? Rather than like spending more time on setting up the campaign and seeing if it's working and then setting up another campaign, right? The setting up part is on as far as a performance marketer is concerned, it's less time on that and more time would be on understanding who you should target and what the target criteria should be, all those things, right? So that is on the audience side of things. And finally, I have one deck remaining, which is how do I optimize the bits, right? So manual bits is something that is that if you think about it, it's actually a lot of pattern matching, right? You have to understand there's a lot of learnings that you get while updating your LinkedIn bits, and you use the learnings to put the right bit. Now that information is something that we are giving you out of the box. So if you will have a campaign, it will show you the campaign spend type. So there's a daily budget, and I know that the spend is the utilization is only 50%, and Scout is telling me that I'm actually underspending on it, and the current bid is this. It will give me an action to increase the bid. And if I want to increase the bid, it will give me a recommended 10%. If I want to increase it further, I can also increase it further, or if I want to reduce it, I can also do it, and I can apply increase. And this will increase the bid in your LinkedIn campaign manager. Similarly, it will show you underspending ones, and it will also fortunately, we are not overspending on any of these things, so that no recommendation there. But if that is there, it will also give you recommendation to reduce a bit, right? So the recommendations are also given, and some of these campaigns are these are lifetime budget. So both these things are also shown in the UI, so you can do it directly from here. That is actually the final action that I wanted to show. Uh, yeah. So as I mentioned, everything is approval specific. You have, even if you do this thing, it will ask a confirmation and you have to click on yes to confirm. And you'll be able to make changes to your LinkedIn bid also from here.
Thank you, Jay. We don't have any questions at the moment, but if you do have any other questions, please send us our way. I want to quickly segue into our next section. Thanks a lot, Ajay. This is so the context was set earlier. So we had a question around if we can schedule some of the things that Ajay was talking about. I think the context was even set in our session before, where Arshdeep had previously talked about what is to come next in our previous office hours. So yes, Arshdeep, please take it over from here.
Hey, folks. Glad to see you back again. And Ajay has set a very tight context that, okay, you can do a bunch of things on Scout, right? But I think all of these reports are not just valuable to marketing teams, they are cross-function valuable, right? Even the VP of sales would want to see that, or even the CRO or CFO would want to see that how basically the budget management is happening, or even the CEO would want to see that how their campaigns are performing, how it is adding to the pipeline, right? The section that I'm gonna present is called routines, right? And Amit, can you give me share access if possible? Okay.
Yeah, you should be able to do it.
Yeah. So we recently launched this. It's in beta, right? And as of now, 10 customers have even set up their like first routines. So What you could do is that you could write an instruction in English, right? And you could just say that send me this report on Slack every Monday, or send me this report to these email IDs every Monday, and routines would do that, right? So first is basic reporting use case, that if you want, for example, a weekly engagement leaderboard, or if like who are the all the accounts that have visited pricing page from this segment, or even LinkedIn related use cases, you can do that, right? Now, this is like one of the use cases of routine, that you could just write the instruction and set it as schedule. But suppose you do not want the report every Monday, but you only want to be alerted when a particular metric goes up or down. We have routines in alerts mode as well. What it would do is that routine would run daily, but it would only send you notification when a particular criteria is met, and all of that criteria is something that you will be able to just write it as a part of the natural language, right? And once it is set up, you're good to go. You do not even need to log in into Factors to get those reports. You'll be able to easily get those reports inside Slack, and even on your mail. And routines, by the way, are also callable via API. So if you have a GTM workflow where you're calling bunch of other tools via the API, you could call one of the routines in as a part of that workflow, and routine will run and give you the output, right? Now, on top of that, you could apply AI to further infer the insights that you get from the routine, right? And as of now, it is in beta. So we are enabling customers one by one by setting up the most important use cases that they have through routines. And let me quickly just show you how it is done. So So yeah, uh, it's very simple. The interface is very simple. Inside Scout, there is agents and routines, and you go inside this routine section. And once this particular section loads, let's just give it a few moments. I'll just quickly demo one of the routines that we have set for ourselves, which is budget pacing and bid management. And as you see, the instruction is in natural language, and the goal is to be as descriptive as possible with your instruction. And the more descriptive you are, the more context you provide. For example, in this example use case, we have provided that okay, our budget is $10,000, or for Google we have provided the budget as for example $35,000, right? Now we have set that context so that whatever next set of analysis that AI does on top of it always takes that context. And now we have also defined that how to basically calculate some of the things which might be specific for your company. So you can provide that as a part of the natural language, and then you can provide that okay, when to flag a particular campaign and when to not flag a particular campaign, right? Now this is something that is specific to us, but you can always go ahead and change this for your use case, right? And before setting up the routine, you have this option to test out the routine. Now, since this is already set up on our end, whenever the routine runs, you'll get this kind of output, and all of this output will go as it is inside Slack. I'll quickly show you that as well after this section. So as you can see, the routine ran and it gave a bunch of metrics. It told that LinkedIn ads is on track, right? Now, if you're satisfied with this, right, what you would do is basically click on schedule, and you could basically set a schedule on a particular day of the week. You could set, for example, for 2 or 3 days in a week. You can set the time, and additionally, you can in the destination you have this option called Slack. Inside that, you could use all the channels that you want the notification to go to. For example, the notification might go to your marketing or sales channel. And additionally, in the email alerts, you can also basically add the relevant email that you want to send the notification to. Since this is related to budgeting, so our CRO is mentioned here, but you can definitely like add more stakeholders so that they have the visibility that what is the current spend rate for particular different channel, which is LinkedIn and Google, right? Now, suppose if this was something that you would not want every Monday at 12 p.m., you would only want the notification to go to you when, for example, if you have probably spent more than 50% of your allocated budget within a particular span of time, you could always schedule it as a monitor. So as you see, it says runs daily, alerts only when conditions are met. And where do you write the condition? Again, inside the instruction section that is here, right? Now, same interface again in the destination, you can provide the destination of your choice. And yes, it will basically work as it is. So yeah, this is how you go ahead. And once you are done with scheduling, you can just turn this on to publish the routine. And as I told that if you want to consume this data outside Factors workflow, which is not Slack and not email, then you always have this API URL to consume inside your GTM workflows. And the routine will run and give you the output as the response. And yeah, you can then further derive further set of insights on top of that, right? So I'll like quickly take a pause and see if there are any questions on this.
No, I think we're good, Ashadi. Uh,
Oh,
is there
so
anything else you wanted to cover?
yes, I will just quickly share uh, the Slack output. So yeah. So as I told, that this entire information is consumable inside Slack. So as you can see, these are the routine alerts that we have set for our like internal company use case. And you see, as you can see, like all of these alerts have tables. So we can guarantee that the output format is going to be extremely crisp and robust and exactly the way you want it. We have ensured that you get the output in the best possible inferable manner so that you can consume that information easily and you can take action on top of it, right? Now, one thing that would naturally come to your mind is that, okay, you have this information. Now, what if you have queries to do on top of it? That is something that is going to come soon as well, wherein you will have a dedicated Factors AI bot, and you could probably like reply to this particular message and ask questions on top of it directly inside the Slack itself. So you do not need to go anywhere. You do not need to even log into Factors to basically infer or ask questions on top of this. You could just directly go ahead and reply to this conversation and ask the question. That is something that is being built by a team as of now, and it's going to be live soon. So yeah, that's the output format in which it comes, the current routine output, and you can expect the exact same format inside email as well, because that exact same rendering we do in the email. So all the table and everything is going to be intact, right? Now, post this session, I will be sharing this playbook that I have prepared, and it contains all the bunch of possible use cases that you can do with routine. And feel free to use this playbook to write instructions on your own. And you're not just bound by this. You can go ahead, and since it's like a open field, you can just write the instructions in more detailed way and probably find more unique use cases and share with us as well, so that we include it as a part of the catalog. So yeah, that's all about routines. We are very, very excited for this feature, and we have got very good feedbacks from the initial set of customers who have adopted it. So yeah, uh, let us know if you want access to this feature, and we'll just get enabled for you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Ashadi. So just like Ashdeep mentioned, let us know if you need access to the feature. It's in beta right now, and it's in testing with some of a few of our customers. So if you do need access, please let us know. Just covering out everything we talked about. So the recording will be sent to your email, and I'll also be sending the slide and the playbook that Ashdeep so kindly made. So thanks a lot, everyone, for joining us today, and see you again in the next Office Hours. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Take care.